Welcome back to another rendition of the Three Amigos podcast. And unlike last week, we do have three people
Oh
on this
shit!
podcast this week.
Fuck. Sorry.
Oh shit! Fuck.
Okay.
Well, Chris has got somewhere to be.
Chris does not want to be on this podcast.
I
That's
think
okay.
Chris is having a baby. No, I'm just
You
kidding.
know what I think it is. You know what I think he's worried about.
He's running away, bro.
I think he's running away from the suspension. I think what happened was, he heard about Michigan. He heard what they're doing over there, the rumblings. He got scared of the other Big Ten teams coming over, and he's afraid of the suspension. He's afraid of the new team, so he had to run away.
I mean, false. I don't even know which direction I really want to run in right now. I guess I'll go with the suspension first. Sorry about the interruption there.
Quick exit, really, what it was. What happened? Now you have to tell us.
It was cat related.
Oh,
Were they fucking?
They were not fucking,
Okay.
but I just made a mistake. Real quick, for dinner, I give my cats wet food. Well, wet food is like gold.
yeah.
So, the ones that eat really fast want to come and steal from the ones that don't eat really fast. So normally I separate them. Well, I forgot to shut the door. And then all of a sudden you start the pod and I look up and saw what was happening. So, hence the oh fuck. But anyway, going into the suspension that Jim Harbaugh has to face, this is just utterly ridiculous. So, but let me ask you guys some questions.
I'm ready.
You've heard of a lot of scandals in college football over the years, right?
Yes.
Some pretty bad ones.
Yes.
What do you mean? Well,
So
there's
I've heard
some really bad ones.
No, I understand there's some scandals, but then the NCAA hypes up certain scandals, and now that the NIL deal is like a thing, those scandals are like not even a thing anymore.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what you're referring to is all the scandals of players getting paid to go to certain schools.
But then you
It's
had
been
like the Aaron
happening.
Hernandez scandal, and those one.
Oh, a totally different scandal. Or you have the Penn State scandal, these are totally different scandals.
Very big scandal.
But the financial scandal has always been players or players' families getting paid to go to certain universities. That's why Reggie Bush got his Heisman taken away unjustly, might I add.
Free
I
Reggie.
think that's ridiculous. But you hear stories of families getting fast food bags full of cash handed off to them at visits. You hear about recruits' mommy and daddy getting a brand new house or a brand new car.
Yeah.
So recruit can choose a particular college. It's been going on for years. And a lot of it goes unpunished or even unrecognized. Like people get away with it way more often than it ever comes out and people ever get caught. Yes.
And I know we're not talking about it, but I just watched a documentary. Johnny Manziel.
No.
And-
Shut the fuck up. No. Shut the fuck up. You're not supposed to talk about this.
He's another one.
You have to shut up and not talk about this.
No, I just want to.
No.
Okay. But before you go on this, the fact that this gives literally nothing, like everything I'm telling you gives nothing
Nothing
away
is
from
about
the
giving it
thing.
away. It was about the structure of the podcast.
Well, this goes with the podcast.
It's what we literally talked about.
It's the year he was there when it had the big run. The school was able to raise $400 million more. Like how the hell?
Yeah.
Do school
These
NIL
players
deal?
make these schools a whole lot of money. So honestly, as much as it's looked at as cheating when recruits are recruited that way, at the end of the day, I guess if everyone's doing it, then is it cheating? Because everyone's doing it, but really not everyone's doing it. Like, not to be too off topic, but you guys have heard me rant on this, how I wish Michigan would lower their standards for their student athletes, grade wise and whatnot, to allow them to come. That screwed us out of some big time recruits and transfers. But regardless, that's another topic. The fact is, this has been an ongoing situation. And so now we get back to Jim Harbaugh, who is facing a 4-game suspension for recruiting violations. So he must have handed someone a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? He must have bought some recruit's family a car or a house, right? No. This is over hamburgers.
No, like actual hamburgers.
Actual hamburgers.
Like why he
this
took
is over,
and like he like bought him dinner.
Some recruits were visiting Ann Arbor during COVID, some sort of COVID era in 2020 or maybe 2021, I forget. And there's a very famous hamburger joint in Ann Arbor, and one of these scouts took these kids to the place to eat and bought them hamburgers. And this apparently was during a time period where they weren't really supposed to be recruiting or, and obviously buying stuff for recruits is looked down upon. Like you can give them free school merch, but you're not allowed to buy them anything.
Like you really can't take them to a meal?
I don't believe so, no. As far as I know, you're allowed to give them free school merch and shit, but you cannot you can't spend money on them or give them money in any way.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's just a part of the recruiting.
Like I'm talking like
guidelines.
Even just like a meal. Like sure, you could take them to a really nice fancy restaurant, but
see the Michigan lately, every summer they do a big barbecue and invite all the recruits there. So in that sense, they are giving them a free meal, but no, they can't take them to a restaurant. They can't wine and dine them in a sense.
That's dumb,
like
but
that.
Okay.
So the NCAA is claiming that Jim Harbaugh lied about this situation. He's claiming that he was open and honest and he has nothing to hide, but obviously this is an ongoing thing. The suspension hasn't been in place. They're negotiating it because the NCAA doesn't really have that much power anymore. So they're still negotiating the suspension. But yes, this is literally over buying some guys some hamburgers to say, hey, come to Michigan. And it wasn't even, there's no way they were like, hey, here's some hamburgers. You want to come to Michigan? No, it was, hey, you're here to see the campus. Let's go to see Ann Arbor.
You're probably talking under $70.
Easy.
Yeah. Over just some
easy.
burgers. Yeah. But I think I understand it's just the concept of like taking them to somewhere and getting them food.
But
a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, that's
over some hamburgers.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What do you put in the hamburger bags? You said people were handing fast food money. I just saying,
well, see that then I would understand that, but now we don't really have that issue because of NIL. Like now you have all these collections and different alumni literally writing checks to all these kids, and well deserved. They're making these programs millions of dollars, but it's just crazy.
That's cool. Alumni can write checks to the kids.
Most of the NIL deals are coming from alumni boosters.
Well, think about a lot of those like big companies probably have a lot of people involved, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm a grad from this, but I own this company. Yeah, this company's going to give you money. Or hey, we're going to.
Yeah, I think Barstool has an NIL deal with Michigan.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, he went to Michigan. Dave Portnoy. Yeah.
He's where's he from? Is he from New York?
He's from New York.
Okay.
Then Connecticut, New York area. Yeah. Connecticut's even worse. He's even more snobby.
Yeah.
But you also brought up the conference. Unless you want to keep talking about Harbaugh.
I just
think it's ridiculous. This is over hamburgers.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That the one thing I do want to mention is before we hopped on this podcast, you did talk about. I was not aware that the NCAA is not like the. I almost thought of the NCAA as the NFL, where the NFL is like the owner of these teams, but these teams work in their different divisions, whatever, right? I almost thought of the NCAA as a similar, like all of the colleges like said, hey, we're going to start this program and put these body of people in charge to help us regulate things. Didn't realize it was like it's yes separate, and no. Is it not
like
it's
more like all these schools are agreeing to abide by the NCAA, but the NCAA has been fighting for years against the NIL
But why?
And then because they want
Old
to keep all
heads?
the money.
Old
Yeah,
heads?
it's all these people who want to keep the money themselves. Why would they give
Mhm.
it to the kids when they haven't had to for decades upon literally centuries, really, but decades and decades as far as college
Of
football
like
being a
good money.
huge money maker, huge. So yeah, they don't want to share. Where they lost was literally in the court of law. They lost it in California, and then in order to, and then I even think the federal government passed something that allowed NIL. So now you have the
Nice.
government involved, telling them no, like they're going to get paid because
Yeah.
they're working a full time job. These kids don't have time to work when they're a part of
Yeah.
these Division I football programs or basketball programs or even like these other sports that you wouldn't think
Okay.
take up that much time. It'll take up a lot of your time.
I know how much you love Cliff Kingsbury, but he was talking about like how they get their tuition paid for, their books paid for, their housing paid for, like a meal program.
So guess what?
And other than that, it's like that's what you get. Like you don't get any spending cash. You don't get any like walking around money. You don't get like say like you have a flat tire in your car. Say you need to put gas in your car. Say you need to get a like whatever parking or maybe a parking spot would, but like maybe you need to go home for freaking holidays.
And what you just described actually only applies to kids who are on scholarship.
Yeah.
There's walk-ins, there walk-ons, there walk-ins. It's not
I
a
love a
barbershop,
walk-in.
but like
Yeah.
there's kids who are a lot of kids who are on all these teams who are paying to be there.
Bro, I just saw
They don't have that full ride, or
I
maybe
saw
they
that
have a partial scholarship.
did you see that video of that heartwarming offensive line kid?
Yeah.
They come out every year, but which one?
This kid.
I didn't mean to say that so heartless. No, because I love those videos. Those are very heartwarming videos, but there's literally like 5 a year.
No, this one was different.
You got to be specific.
This one was there's 85 scholarships, right? This kid talked to his family. They were well off enough that they said, you know what, we're gonna give up our scholarship and we're gonna give it to a kid.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like they already had all 85.
That's awesome.
And he gave up his own to this other kid, and I was like, damn,
that's dope.
That's cool.
That's really cool. I like that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. I thought that was like the other ones.
Even do so, like what you just said earlier too, when we were talking about it. You like the NCAA is basically like losing it.
Well, they've just lost a lot of power. Like Alex said, when I was a kid, I thought the same thing. I thought the NCAA was the equivalent to the NFL as far as how the organization is and everything. But college football is like super segregated. Like these schools obviously are their own entities and businesses and programs, you know, but then the conferences are really like what the leagues are. The conference, like the Big Ten, is more of a power head of those schools than the NCAA is at the end of the day.
So with these new, well, you can keep going. My bad. Keep going. I was gonna transition.
Well, I guess like logistically, think like wouldn't they take like a head of each whatever section, right? Big Ten, SEC, like one person is like, hey, you're our representative for this, and then this is the NCAA. That's not it.
That's not it. The NCAA does have its own office. It has its own version of Roger Goodell and those lackeys and all that shit. The conferences have that too. The conferences have their own commissioners and everything as well. The Big Ten commissioner just stepped down to go work for the Chicago Bears this year. This is the first year under a new commissioner. What's that?
What do they do? What does the NCAA do then? Because
They
even thinking about it, they don't have bowl games because those are all ran by different.
Those are all independent businesses and entities.
Businesses that like said, hey, like Chick-fil-A, I want to put on a bowl game, the Orange Bowl, the Sunquist Bowl, or whatever.
Yep.
Like I want to put these on.
Even the classics, like the Rose Bowl is literally its own thing. Like there's a Rose Bowl committee that handles inviting the teams and all that shit every year. The NCAA is not really involved in that. Like if the schools really wanted to, if they really just got sick of some of this garbage that the NCAA has been doing, they could just not abide by them anymore. Like they could just come together and collectively say, fuck it.
And so other people coming together and saying, fuck it. Pac-12.
Pac-12.
What is it anymore? Pac-4?
Well, Pac-4. Pac-4 now. And I don't like it.
I don't understand. Okay, this is what I don't understand. I understand wanting to play. So is the idea that you go into these bigger conferences, the more recruits you're going to get and the better teams you're going to play and the more like eyes you're going to get on you?
Some think like that. So like being in Washington on one of the news, I just saw a lady, like the president, like that's what she talks about. Like more opportunity for exposure for our team and our campus and stuff like that. That's how she described it. I personally don't know. Right.
So it's a money thing for sure. Yeah. These Pac-12 schools are now going to like the biggest money making conference in college football. And they're going to what?
They're going to two different ones.
Well, I'm specifically talking about the ones coming to the Big Ten. The ones going to the Big 12, they're still stepping up technically in the rankings of these conferences, but it's not as drastic as the ones.
Because what does it go? Big 10 or SEC? Big 10.
As far as money goes, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
At one point had a lot better. It was a lot.
Thank you. I feel like the disrespect for Pac-12.
Like the Big 12, like I don't think the Big 12 at one point, like they've gotten better, but at one point Pac-12 was way better than the Big 12. Like when USC was in its prime back in the days.
For sure.
Good runs. Like Pac-12 has still been good. I just can't believe they've been this mismanaged to be just like you imploded in on yourself. Everybody.
I would say when we were kids, the Pac-12 and the Big 12 were pretty comparable. Now, in more recent years, it feels like it's shifted. But yeah, to put this into perspective, here are the TV contracts I'm just going to stick with the Power Five. So you have the ACC, who has a $240 million TV contract through 2036. You have the Pac-12, who are on a $250 million TV deal through this year. Like after this year, it's over. Which is why this is all happening. The Pac-12 has not been able to secure a new TV rights deal. So I think all these schools are like, all right, I think it's just time to jump ship. The Pac-12 really honestly failed themselves. The Pac-12 network was a big failure. And so that's where we're at. Then you have at $380 million, the Big 12 with a contract through 2031. And then that's when shit just jumps up, because then you have the SEC at $811 million with a contract through 2034.
500 million gap. What the fuck?
Yes. And then you have the Big Ten with a $1 billion contract through 2030. So literally 4 years quicker than the SEC. It's going to be up for even more.
Is the Big Ten that much higher because you have the historic like rivalries?
I believe so. I think it's part historic rivalries, part like it just gets watched. Yeah, because
they're thinking about it, like living now in the Southeast, like Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, like those LSU, huge followings. And I haven't ventured up Northeast yet, guessing it's very similar. But the fact that just like the fact that I can see it now. Pac-12, Arizona State was like, yeah, people like the Arizona State. No, people will rock the fucking ugly creamsicle orange and white out here. Like it's like everyday wear.
For Tennessee?
Yeah. The Volunteers.
And Big Ten country is the same way. Those people are diehard. They love their team. They rep them wherever they go nationwide.
Really, most of the places, that's like none of them have really like Michigan is one, but like Ohio doesn't have a national, like they do Cleveland and stuff, but let's be honest, let's go right. But Nebraska only has Nebraska,
right?
Iowa only has Iowa, right, or Iowa State.
So
What
yeah,
about
some of those places
Cincinnati?
only have them, and other places just treat them as equals to their professional teams. Penn State is like an equal to the Pennsylvania professional teams, to those fans. I promise you. So it's just big money for them, and so these schools want to go to a conference that just has more stability in that market. But
And
honestly, it's not going to be better for their student athletes. It's going to cost them more money.
why?
Well, one, you have the travel, which is paid for by the school, the actual travel, but like that doesn't mean that you don't have added expenses as a student of what you're going to need and shit. For one, and for two, you're telling me Oregon joining the Big Ten isn't going to jump up their tuition, isn't going to jump up like all sorts of different costs to the average student. It's not just the student athletes. The students of these colleges in general are going to see costs go up.
You think so? See, I don't really necessarily agree. I don't know, because like that's difference. I think that's like within. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like I don't know, dude. I don't know.
There's going to be.
I guess I see it. I understand, because like it all works into a way, in a roundabout way. But I feel like the football program in itself is already such a money power hungry thing. Like really, it's coming out of expense, but it's just coming out of some expenses and profits from what they were already going to make, right? So all these schools, I mean, you're talking about USC, Oregon, like Washington. I was surprised, but like these people have such a large following, right? They do, for their own little Pac-12.
Yeah.
And I think the teams really want them to succeed, and they're willing to put in more money for them to get better opportunities. Right. Like logistically, that could be it. I don't know if that's true about tuition. If it does, that's really shitty, and I think it's unfair. But they make so much money. Why you can't? Really? You think so?
Literally, Arizona State raised tuition and parking and things while I was there to cover the renovations for the football stadium, rather than use the profits from their sports. They passed that buck on to the student.
They didn't really have that much profits. They weren't
I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they didn't.
Weren't a USC, buddy. Arizona State. Yeah.
And there you go. You just mentioned USC. That's honestly, as a fan of the Big Ten, that's the only school I give a shit about joining. That's the only one I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. The rest of them, I don't care.
UCLA
I do
is
not
pretty
care.
good too.
No, UCLA is trash.
UCLA isn't that good anymore. They used to be really good.
They used to be good.
I like the Oregon too, because
the Oregon one,
very, very competitive team, and this makes
Oregon's a roller coaster. Yeah, they can be good.
Well, they always have potential to be really good. They always are power top 20, always, right? Top
this
15.
will help the recruiting for sure.
Exactly.
Well, I want to see how honestly bad they do, because they used to beat themselves up in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 used to get absolutely pollywopped when they'd play any bigger division. Like, the fact that you're trying, sure, your recruiting is going to help a little bit, but is it going to really help that much when it's between Michigan and Oregon, and you're like, oh, do I want to go to the new team that just but it's also Michigan? Like, it's like, you have the powerhouse of, you're in the same conference, you're recruiting the same people.
Well, let's be honest, Alex.
Well, Oregon's going to have an easier time keeping kids in the Northwest region now. Like some of the recruits that may have jumped over to some of the bigger programs down south or out east or up north or whatever, now may be more inclined to stay closer to home, because they're going to get a lot more attention and whatnot. So there is definitely benefits.
That makes sense. Yeah. I had something I was going to say. Well, I was. So, like you just said, like they used to beat themselves in games. Well, like, Alex, let's be honest. Not everything in the Big Ten is, like, they're not all good. Wisconsin, Rutgers.
Well, hold on. Wisconsin used to be good. I think they're actually going to be good again.
Okay.
I think their new coaching regime might turn that program around pretty fast. I believe that's Luke Fickell.
The Big Ten is I'm not hating on the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten.
Oh no, there's definitely shitty teams in the Big Ten. Let's get rid of Rutgers. Maryland, I could get rid of them too. Nebraska, they used to be a top program in the nation for years. Ever since joining the Big Ten, they haven't been shit. So let's get rid of them. What?
Where were they before?
I want to say they were in the Big 12 before the Big Ten.
That would make sense. It's like right there.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're talking about all that, and the other people that decided to leave out of the Big 12, Alex, was Colorado, U of A, Arizona, Utah. They all went to the Big 12.
See, that one also feels weird to me. Like I said, the Big 12 makes a little bit more sense. It's like stepping up a little bit in a division, right? It's like going from like.
But I don't understand if that really is. I thought the Pac-12 was good, bro. That's
me too.
It is. That's the thing that's hard.
Me too.
They used to have such a good following, and I mean, Chris can listen to us, whatnot. But like growing up, I felt like my dad was so proudful of like Arizona State and the Pac-12 and stuff like that, and like it didn't really latch on to us, which is kind of crazy. But like I love Arizona State. I still grab them, but like, dude, it wasn't that bad. It's just like this poorly mismanaged into the Big 12.
Yeah, it's the conference's fault. Yeah. It's not these schools.
How many years did we see USC go up against the big boys? Oregon go up against the big boys? Washington sometimes.
You want to know what it is? It's the East Coast bias. Nobody back there gives a fuck about watching Washington.
You know why?
Watching Oregon. You know they don't care. Because the games are on until 1 in the morning.
No. Yeah, the games start at 11 p.m. Bro, I'm in bed. I don't want to be that guy, but like,
I even if you're back there,
imagine trying to not. Okay, this is the NBA Finals. It starts at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah,
and you're like, bro, it's fucking 10 p.m. Or like, so the finals was never that bad. It was the conference finals. When there was a conference final game and Golden State was in it, bro, you would literally start at 10:30 and you're like, I can't watch this.
Yeah. Well, that's staying up to they're doing more night games now for Big Ten, which they weren't doing for a while.
Yeah. So what are they gonna do now though?
I'm worried. Honestly, that's my biggest worry.
When Michigan has to go play Oregon or Washington or any of these California teams, like you're going over there. And now you're like they're gonna have to stay up and watch them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm worried about, though. Yeah, I don't want the Big Ten schedule messed with. Like they play during certain time slots, and that's how it should be. Yes, they have been doing the occasional night game, and that's cool. That's fun. Well, each program getting one night game a year, I think, is a fun thing to do. They don't do it that way, but like
it really
seems
funny?
Like that.
You know what's really funny?
Oh, go ahead.
I think what's so funny is the Big Ten is like this posh, like we only play at noon and 10 a.m. Where
no, it's noon and 3.
Growing up in Arizona, how many night games did we have, Jay?
All the time,
always a night game. Like, it was
yeah, guess what? Arizona State plays 90% of their games with high schoolers. Because they play on Friday nights like a high school. That's Bush League. Get that shit out of here. Top college football is played on Saturday afternoon.
Hey, big guy.
Not Friday nights.
I don't want to be that guy, but you guys are sounding a little prima donna-y that you have to play after 3 p.m.
No.
No, that's what it sounds like. No. Hey, I want to be that guy, but like, so sorry.
Okay, hey, whoa, pompous man, chill out for a second.
Yeah.
All right. Question for you. How would you not be more excited? Because this gives you more opportunity to see your team. Like Michigan never comes down, and like they at one point, I mean, you can go to LA. LA's not far. It gives you more.
Like I said, when I heard USC was coming, cool. That's a cool. Yeah, I love that because guess what? The Rose Bowl stadium is coming to the Big Ten. That's a very precious stadium to the Big Ten conference because of the Rose Bowl game and everything. So now we get it in our conference. That's awesome. I'm excited about that. And I'm not going to be upset if they have to play a few road night games. That will be fun. But I don't
like you were.
It's going to just completely mess you guys know me. I'm a traditionalist in
this
sports,
is
and it's going to mess a
hold on.
lot of things
Before
up.
you go anywhere else, you can't say I'm not upset that they have to play 2 or 3 home night games, but it's gonna mess up where we play in time slots. So that's literally contradicting itself.
It's not. No. It's not just them. It's literally the entire conference. It's literally now half the conference is going to be every week, and it's just like that's just.
So,
no,
but
we don't need Washington. We don't need Oregon. We don't need UCLA.
First off, Washington come up and see me and watch them play, and you can see me.
That's true. That's true.
And tickets, but fuck me, right? Oregon, by the way, has been a top 20 team. We've already said this, so don't.
Yeah, Oregon's been a good team. You know what?
This has nothing to do with me thinking Oregon's not a good team.
You know
I just don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't care, but Oregon is probably better than USC. Maybe not right now with Caleb Williams, but like over the last 10 years, yes.
Over the last 10 years, for sure, yeah.
And they don't care about Nike because they're a Jordan brand. But
Jordan is Nike.
Yeah.
But you're Jordan. You're not.
We are Jordan.
Yeah, they don't go Nike, they go Jordan, motherfucker. So we can move on to the Big 10 because we haven't fucking talked, or Big 12 because we haven't talked about them. Big 10,
because no one cares.
Shut up. How are they going to do the divisions? Like, what do you do? Do they all go to the West Division? And then do you move some people to the East Division?
So now you're getting... That's not our concern.
I actually don't think the Big 12 does divisions. I think the Big 12 is just the best.
The Big 10. The Big 10.
Oh, the Big 10 is getting rid of divisions too, and I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't.
Thank the Lord, finally, because you can actually get Michigan, Ohio State, where we really want to see them in the conference fucking finals.
Which is awesome, except what I'm worried about is
you're going to lose in the conference finals.
No, I don't know. I am not afraid of playing them back to back. What I'm afraid of is 2 things. One, that if it goes on a stretch, because the rest of now these teams joining the Big 10 are going to help. But if we go on a stretch where it's Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State for years, I just don't want it to diminish the game, the special game that's played Thanksgiving Day weekend, because it becomes just a yearly routine. Like, yep, this is the first matchup, and then we're going to get to the second matchup, and the second matchup is for all the marbles. Like, that's what I'm afraid of happening. I don't think it will now. I think USC and I think Oregon and just making it flat out, the best teams of the Big 10 making it, I think will help to not have that happen. But it's a concern. Right? Big 12 does it. SEC is divisions. It's East and West. The other thing I'm worried about is that they're going to move the game. And that's a comment that, the Ohio State coach, Ryan Day, probably because he's afraid of playing back-to-back, has already made. He's already said, like, maybe we need to consider moving when we play the game, maybe earlier in the season. No, that's bullshit. That is such a historic game, and it is always played the weekend of Thanksgiving. You might as well just ruin all of college football if you're going to move that.
But also, Ryan Day needs to calm down. Well, Ryan Day needs to calm down because if he can't beat Michigan either this year or next year, he's probably gone.
Oh, he's gone after next year for sure. If he doesn't win,
if he can't
he may even be gone after this year. I don't think so. Yeah. I think they'll give him another year, but yeah, he'd be done next year.
So don't want to change the game. Don't want to change.
It's too special.
Don't want to change. So all I heard
don't want to change.
Don't want to change. All I heard. Do you hear anything else but that, Jay?
Oh no, that is 100% Chris's personality. He's the stubborn old man that resists change. Change is not a thing,
It's not true. There's certain changes I would love to make in NFL football. The thing is just college is very traditional. Thank you, Alex.
There you go. Thank you. Hey, let's move to the Big 12 real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on it.
Yep.
Do you think BYU, Colorado, and Central Florida, and U of A and ASU, and sometimes Utah are making a mistake?
Oh, making a mistake? No,
Yeah.
I don't think they're making a mistake. I think that conference is making a mistake letting some of those teams in.
BYU.
I think BYU
Okay.
and Central Florida is
Yeah. So,
such a turd in the water for them.
but Central Florida needed, is that the UCF? University of Central
UCF,
Florida?
yeah,
They needed to get out of that division because they literally would go like undefeated. They
that
were
was
playing
back when
nobodies.
Scott Frost was there,
Well, just
and
did it
yes,
too.
he was killing it. But I haven't heard anything about UCF in the past couple of years since then. Have you?
They just lost like one game last year.
Yeah, they just like they've literally been that division number one for like 10
Okay, well
years.
that's good, and yeah, they should move up.
So they
But
needed to like figure out how to get it. That good for them. I think what the hell is Colorado doing?
oh, they got Deion
Colorado,
Sanders. They want
you
money.
couldn't win a game in the Pac-12.
Well, they went 1-11.
Sorry, they won one
Or-
game in the
Yeah.
Pac-4 and something, and then the year before that they won like 4-9.
Yeah. Oh, they've been
Something like
bad
that.
for a minute.
What makes you think you can win against a Kansas State, an Iowa State, an OKC, a Cincinnati even?
See, that's the thing. I'm super interested in like how they're going to look this year in the final year of the Pac-12 because I don't think they're actually going to be that good.
Who?
And then
Wait
they're
a minute.
really
So
going to
this-
have to get it together because
When
the
did
next
these
year, like
teams-
you're saying,
Central Florida
When do
has
these
not
teams
been good
transfer?
since 2019, 2020.
Oh, really?
No.
I was right. See, yeah,
2
they
years.
fell off.
2 years, bro. It's no one.
Yeah, but they
falls off in
haven't
2
been
years.
shit in those 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah,
When
so,
did these teams transfer? Texas
After
and
this year,
Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma is this year though, right?
no,
Oh, they're still next year.
this is their final year, and then they're moving. Everyone is college football. This is the last year of it being how we know it.
And then are we going to go to a Power Four?
That's what it feels like.
I mean, like, yeah, because do you think Pac-12 gains people? Do you
And
think they
I,
dissolve?
well, no, that's not true.
They're not going to dissolve. I think they're the biggest of any other division, so obviously people are going to go to them, right? They're
Well,
going to.
this is
They might merge with the Mountain West.
or
What's
some
that?
yeah, Mountain West was a big one that they thought about merging with. I did see that.
Mhm.
But you did literally all you have left is Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, and Washington State.
Mhm.
Washington State and Oregon State, I think, would be good for Mountain West. They're already up here by most of the teams, anyways. Like a Boise State, that's a Mountain West team, right? Or is that a
Yeah,
State?
but you're not going to be a Mountain West conference. You're going to go to the Pac-12 conference.
Hmm. There's not. Gonna be
I don't know. The Pac-12 doesn't have a lot of leverage,
Maybe-
so
No,
any
because the other
merger
thing-
they'd be
So
absorbing
we'll-
them.
Stanford's not going to stand on its own. It has the choice of the letter. Stanford's still a prestigious school, and they actually have good programs. And I think there'd be
Yeah.
people interested in taking them in. Even like Cal. Cal's like, you may not think of Cal's like that, but it's Cal. Berkeley.
school.
Like, it's a really nice school. It's a prestigious school as well.
It's where my wife went. It's where my wife's mom went to go to school.
Or you know what? They can pull Notre Dame and just have nobody do what they want to do.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't.
I know.
Notre Dame can pull that off because they're Notre Dame, so they have their own NBC TV deal. Stanford ain't getting their own individual TV deal.
No.
But it's just so crazy. So yeah, and then the other two teams, like, that's sad. Like, who knows? But oh man, what a time to be.
What
in.
a fun time to be in college football.
So we'll see what happens.
Eh.
But you know what? I think it'll be good for a lot of these teams. I think like the Arizona State, Ohio, or U of A, like, you just play some Texas teams and things like that. You just get out of some of these games that you probably had no.
Also, before we last thing, who does the best in their new division?
I think Texas does better than Oklahoma at first in the SEC, but I think in the long run Oklahoma does better. And then I think USC does the best right off the bat in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And I think
long term, maybe them too. Like, long term, either USC or Oregon, because at the end of the day, USC is always going to
for
be
sure.
another probably. If you look at Pac-12, you're thinking USC probably or Oregon.
Or Oregon? Yeah.
depends on where you were, what era, right? If you're thinking like old heads, they're thinking USC, right? They're thinking Trojans.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking like new, like our age, like a lot of people are probably thinking
Oregon. Grew up with Marcus Mariota and fucking.
I think
don't know
Utah
what else.
State
Herbert.
might right off the bat be better
Yeah,
than the rest
they were pretty
going into
good
the Big
last year.
12. I'm very intrigued to see ASU this year with their new coach.
Yes.
I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah. But man, I think that kind of, I mean, do we have anything else on college football? You guys over that one?
Yeah, that was.
No,
was-
I'm all ranted out.
I'm glad. Well, let's.
I don't even think I'm going to talk the rest of the podcast. So go take it away, guys.
And I think you guys waited literally until the podcast started to think of your homework. Just like no one watched the quarterback thing except Chris. So good job, Chris, on watching the quarterback thing, but no one else.
Thank
did.
you.
Tell us all about it. But I am curious. Like my biggest question last week was, I want to know who your dark horse is on your current football team. The Lions, the Steelers, Cowboys. Like, who do you think is going to stand out the most? For what I think, help me try to describe a dark horse, Chris. What's the best explanation?
I think a dark horse is someone that has a lot of potential to have a big year, but no one's really talking about them or even considering them right now. But they're showing you things that lead you to believe that they're going to fly under the radar until they don't.
Yeah. That was great, dude. That was perfect. I don't care who wants to take it off, but dude, you go ahead. You're honestly on it. You go with your
all right.
Your guys. I already know Alex is. I yelled at him already about it.
He did yell.
Is going to be George Pickens?
No, I think worse.
Kenny Pickett.
He would have been
at first.
He would have been a dark horse last year.
Yeah.
He can't really be a dark horse this year. He's already known-ish.
No.
Well, you guys can tell me if this is a fair enough dark horse, but when you assigned that last week, my brain just immediately went to him, and it only solidified over this past week. And that is Jahmyr Gibbs, our first round pick.
Dude, you can't be a top freaking 10 pick and be a dark horse.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean why? He's still a rookie.
That's why I said, you guys will have to tell me if this really counts or not. But he's an unproven rookie. Like, we've seen number one overall picks be complete busts.
No, I understand.
I.e. Jamarcus Russell.
I understand. But going into the season, everybody's talking about it. You literally just talked about nobody's talking about him until they are.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposite.
Understand. Okay, fine. I just wanted to really talk about how excited I am for what I'm seeing out of Gibbs and camp.
I wanted to take Joey Porter Jr.
Okay.
We can talk about that later.
Joey Porter Jr. can't really take him because that's all we're talking about is our safe, is like our corner. It's all everyone's talking about is our defense cornerback.
Okay, fine. I'm going to give you a different dark horse.
Okay.
The second guy that came to mind. A guy that some people would have argued should have been our first or second pick. But instead we got lucky and got him in the second. Is second round good enough for you, Alex, for a dark horse?
I don't know. We'll see.
Brian Branch out of Alabama, defensive back.
I'll take that one.
I am very excited to see how he does, and I think he's going to tear it up in our secondary. Our secondary, as you guys know, for many, 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 many years has been one of the weakest points of the Detroit Lions team in many different iterations of the team. It's the secondary has sucked. And we got Tracy Walker coming back healthy. We got the addition of CJ GJ, but I think Brian Branch is going to emerge as a starter pretty early on in the season, maybe not week one, but look out for him early on in the season to take a starting spot in that defense and just light it up. Everything I've been seeing in camp, he has just been a ball hawk and, a smart player. So I'm excited. I think Brian Branch. What's up?
Watch camp a lot.
I do my daily checkups on the Lions camp. Yeah. Which is why I really want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs, because yesterday they had a joint practice with the Giants and he
It's not your turn.
No,
Okay. Alex, who's your dark horse?
You know who I'm surprised he didn't say?
Who?
Aiden Hutchinson.
No, what's his name? He's really fast. What the fuck is his name?
Oh, Jamison Williams. Well, everyone's talking about him
Nobody's
and his
talking about
potential.
him.
Trust me, everyone in the Lions community has been talking about him.
Okay, I have two. You might say one of them is a no-go, and I'll say it first. But this is the year of Najee Harris. He's he quickly slipped out of the top because rookie year probably went into the top 10 running backs in the league, which is how explosive and good and crazy and dynamic he looked. Sophomore year, as Chris knows, he
pissed me off.
Didn't do. They don't think the team did what we were supposed to do. I think the team just was there. Okay.
You did exactly.
And he was part of it. But if you don't accept that one, I think that one of the star players from our team is actually going to be Alex Highsmith. He is going to be a menace when you're worried about TJ Watt and you don't. He was our sack leader last year without TJ Watt, and now that you add TJ Watt in the mix, and he is the free runner or the single blocker, I think he's going to be maybe even our sack leader this year, but probably our second one.
That's cool. Okay.
I accept that one.
For you?
Yeah, I accept that one. How about you, Justin?
Yes to both of them. Well, I'm glad we all brought two because even I did. I think the one that is super like Michael Gallup for me. Everybody's talking about CD and Brandon Cooks, CD and Brandon Cooks. Motherfucker, you forgot what Gallup was doing literally until he got his whole knee blown out. Like, dude's still a freak. Like, he's a super talented athlete, and he's tall. He's our tallest receiver we have. He's like the get up and go get him play. Like CD and Brandon Cooks are more like kind of like a Tyreek Hill, where I would say like
they're slotty.
Yeah, more as like an OBJ, like throw it up, I'll get it, and he gets some good catches. And another one was my rookie linebacker out of Texas, Overshown. I don't know if you've seen that dude. First off, he's fucking yoked. He's a linebacker. One of our great, but good. It was our linebacker position with Micah moving to D end. That changes it, and I think like he'd be an easy either start out. I think he's just going to be a beast.
I actually do have a question for you.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to do with your dark horses, but it does have to do with your Cowboys. What I heard the other day was that the Cowboys literally had to pull Micah off the first team like scrimmage so the offense could have some productive reps because he was just going insane on the offense and shutting that shit down and getting after Dak.
Second team or first team?
No, it was first team.
First team?
Yeah, it was the first team versus team scrimmage. They had to pull him from. Yeah, they had to pull him from it because he just wasn't giving the offense opportunities. So does that make you more excited about Micah and what he's going to bring to you guys this year, or does it make you a little bit nervous for your offense? What is it? Just Micah's that big of a beast, you think, or are you getting nervous?
Which one do you think I'm going to say?
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
Cowboy lean.
I'm fine with it.
Come on, Cowboy lean. Get into it.
Reason, motherfucker. Like, of course he's going to make it hard. Not supposed to be easy. They should sleep. It's a pussy move. Like, grow up, grow a pair of balls. But like, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best.
Can you imagine?
I'm so glad you said that. Yes.
God damn it.
I don't know where he's going with that. I was just gonna say, can you imagine being on these like the top teams with a Parsons, with a Bosa, with a Watt, and like you're the left tackle? Like,
you're getting your ass kicked in practice.
But
you're getting the best practice possible.
That's what I'm saying. How good you must feel going into like the NFL games, like knowing who the fuck is this scrub?
I had to go up against this dude all week. Like, this is going to be nothing. Yeah. No, I wasn't going to segue into anything bad other than I don't know if you guys heard, but there's in your division, Justin, there's some potential trouble up in Washington.
Bieniemy.
Did you hear about this, Justin?
No.
He's
Well,
too hard nosed.
he's too hard nosed, too intense, apparently.
Yeah.
Like literally Ron Rivera admitted in a press conference that players had come up to him being Ron Rivera, and asked him to speak to Bieniemy, or like, yeah, to speak to Bieniemy about calming down and not being like so berating and whatnot.
Who are you talking about?
The Commanders.
The Washington Commanders. Their
Commanders'
offensive coordinator is Eric Bieniemy from the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember, this is the guy who everyone has been asking for years, why isn't he getting head coaching opportunities? What, and you know, some people make the argument, well, it's Andy Reid calling the plays, not him, type of a deal. Well, now he's getting a true offensive coordinator opportunity as the play caller, running the entire show. He's the assistant head coach there. And players on the offense aren't exactly happy with his style. And they're coming to the head coach to complain about it, which is just crazy to me. So your comment about, you know, don't be a pussy and all that leads me to question, are these players just soft? Was the last year's regime so lackadaisical that it was like,
wasn't it the same regime under Rivera, or was he just so hands off that like?
No, he's not hands on. But here's the difference.
I think he's a player's coach more so.
Right. He like can't even do all those things. Like they let him do the things. First off, if you want to fucking win, you put people in position to win. Mm-hmm. For the Commanders, you went and did it. Right? You have basically your whole team's the same. No one's doing anything. Okay. Oh, he's being too hard. He's being too this. Well, guess what? You weren't winning shit last year. What do you think you're going to do? The same shit last year and shit's going to change? No.
Right.
Like, he's in here making a change for a reason. If you don't like it, then you don't have to stay. Then leave. That's what I think. You're like, yeah, you have a contract, but like, if you want to pussy out about this, well, then go be a bitch. Or if you want to really try and say something, then come say something to me. Like, if you're going to do it, don't complain. Like, that's the runaround, right? Don't give me the runaround. If you have something to say, just say it to my face.
This is also where
you're scaring me. I don't like how you do this.
Your offensive captains need to step up. Hey, this is from the team. How can we?
That just shows you there's no leader at all in that room.
Probably not.
Scary.
Sam Howell is probably too young and nervous to really take that leadership role.
Have any good bets?
I don't know. Terry McLaurin is still pretty young, but he's obviously the most skilled player on that offense.
I mean, because you also got Dotson at wide receiver. You're young.
And just because you're skilled doesn't mean you're a leader.
But here's the thing,
right? You're just an athlete.
I want to know who these players are who made the comment, because maybe they're used to hard coaching, depending on where they went to college or what other teams they've been to. I really want to know, is this like over the line shit? Is he being like crazy disrespectful, or is he just being a normal intense coach, cussing at you and yelling at you to go harder type of deal?
Is this a guy from Alabama? Because if it's a guy from Alabama, all ears. Yep. Yeah, 100%. Maybe you're going a little too hard. Or is this a guy from Miami of Ohio? What are we doing?
But like for Ron Rivera to even talk about it to the media is wild too. Like to even make a comment about it and say that the defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, does things a little different with the defensive players.
Jack
like
Del Rio.
That's a weird comment for a coach to make about another coach as well. So in an instant, the Washington Commanders became a top team for me to follow this year, because I want to see how this plays out.
See, we got the Jets Hard Knocks, but we really should have got the Commanders Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
right now I think so.
Especially with like the buy and the purchase of them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be super interesting to see. They're trying to like everything. They're just trying to cover shit right now. They're like, nope, no one's in. That's NFL's probably smart. There's probably a lot of shit that's going on, and they get to cover. Like, first off, he had a lot of those lawsuits, right? With well, they'll start with that.
What the fuck is his name?
That's where you got to be careful. Dan Snyder. Right. That's where you got to be careful, and you're treading water there.
Yeah, he is. You got to be careful. Well, switching from one off season to another off season, My Pittsburgh Penguins made an all or nothing trade. If they don't win this in the next 3 years, good luck on being good ever again for the next couple years. They are basically taking the Blackhawks approach, where all of their talent is really good, really old. Okay. We've got Sidney Crosby, we've got Malkin, and we've got Letang. Average age of like 35, probably. And we just decided to add Erik Karlsson, who Norris Trophy winner, gonna be good, kind of hurt sometimes. Scored 100 points last year as a defenseman. Cool. 35, 32, however old he is. So it's really just all or nothing with this team right now.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am very excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see maybe we can get a cup this year.
No.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know enough to even think, but I'm just waiting to see Chris's reaction.
I don't think you guys go from this year to next year and get a cup.
We also were down our number one defenseman for half the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
I still don't see it.
Alex, great. Be excited. Go have hope,
Thank
because
you.
that's what you are, man. But you know what? You know the other thing I love about you is you don't know how to do anything other than follow the script. And it's so funny because guess where we're going right back to?
What?
Football, baby. Because we always talk about football on this podcast. Because we're doing our top 100, the top 20.
Oh, dude. I don't know.
I forgot all about it. He was ready to be
in order. This is why it needs to be in order. This is why it needs to be in order. It's not in order.
Dude, you're just smarter than that. We have so much faith in you. And you just lead naturally. I could have broke it into that. And then you
no. I got you. Anyway,
I'm so excited for the top 20. And did you guys watch all of it? So all of them came out, and Cypress made me literally guess the top 10. So like on my car ride home, that's literally what I had to do, was guess who made it in the top 10. I actually did fairly good for what I think about. The order of it was okay too, but
before we get into that, who else remembers like weekly watching the top 100 players on NFL Network?
Oh, yeah.
Like this whole, like they came out and like you didn't get the build.
It used to be a bigger deal.
It used to be super crazy. They used to have interviews. They used to have player, like the white background interviews. Remember that?
They still do.
I think in the age of social media, it's just changed with where they distribute it.
I think they still do a film. Like they had a film thing to drop it, to launch it.
That talks about all the players and stuff like that?
I'm pretty sure.
And that one guy who announces over all NFL things does like the voiceover. I love that guy's voice. I don't know who it is, but he's got like that. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You get it.
Go through all the top 20, but really I wanted to focus on the top 10. But
give us the highlights from the top 20 through 11.
Well, I mean, like Aaron Donald always makes it in somehow.
Of course, somehow.
So he has 11, like literally almost cracked the top 10. So that's where if Aaron Donald's in, you got to think about how good that top 10 is.
Yeah.
Alex, did you
know there's someone at 18?
Huh?
Someone at 18.
Okay, who's that?
Minka.
Oh, who's that?
He's just the safety that the Steelers have. That it's pretty good. I don't want to be that guy, but he is better than all of the people on the Lions defense. But
just talk to me about record at the end of the year, buddy. That's all I care about. Go on.
I do too.
I'll talk to you about what your 4-12 record.
Just go on.
I'm so dead. Yes. Well, no Lion player cracked the top 20, unfortunately, but
that's
somehow,
okay.
some way, the Steelers find their way in, and that's what they
baby.
But other ones than this, I mean, like, dude, they're all making. I mean, when you get to this point, it's just kind of preference. Who had a better year? Who didn't? Mm-hmm. I'm surprised George Kittle is on as far as he is because he was injured for a large part of the year. I felt like. But
what did they have him at?
19.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs at like 15.
Yeah, but that makes sense because Fred Warner's a beast.
Yeah.
Like Fred Warner's a stud. He should have been higher.
Can I guess the top 10?
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
You don't even know?
No.
Well,
I mean, I obviously know who number 1 is. That seems pretty obvious. I'm going to assume number 1's Patrick Mahomes.
Patty Holmes.
Okay.
Number 2.
The rest of it,
let's start with players. Name the players in the top 10.
I'm assuming Joe Burrow's got to be top 10.
Yep.
Josh Allen's got to be top 10.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. 1, 6, 5, and 7. No, 1, 6, and 9. What the fuck? 1, 6, and 8.
Don't tell me that. Chris, you need one more quarterback.
Is it Justin Herbert?
No.
You already saw where he was at, bro.
Yeah, he didn't even make the top 20.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
What fucking quarterback?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
Motherfucker. What quarterback had a crazy year and went to the fucking Super Bowl?
He's dumb, bro.
Jalen Hurts is top 10.
Number 3.
He had one of the best years, bro.
What are you talking about?
Stop telling him numbers. He's guessing players, then he's guessing numbers.
I'm just giving.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Jalen Hurts. I love his story. I love how he played last year. But that is absolutely ridiculous to call him top 10.
Whoa, no. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna say no, and you're gonna hate.
You're telling me Aaron Donald deserves to be 11, and you're putting like the resume. Like, come on, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Led a freaking Philadelphia Eagle team to the fucking Super Bowl. Missed like 2 games.
He's also the reason they lost.
Oh, okay. Chris, when you make it to the Super Bowl in the last 25 years, say something. Speak out loud.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
So every year, by the way, Justin, every year you have to keep adding that year so that way you can make sure your Cowboys stay in that bracket. Next year is going to be 26 years, 27, 30 years.
Hey, just because we haven't.
Second of all, I'm talking about Aaron Donald, who has won a Super Bowl recently.
He didn't do that good last year. His season wasn't as good.
So this is just off of last year. This is strictly off last year. It's not just top 100 players.
No, chill, Bill. Chill the fuck out.
That's stupid.
Players of 2020.
That's stupid. That's a stupid list.
Chris, come.
That's dumb. That's dumb as shit.
Okay, Christopher. Why
are you so mad? Hold on. Why are you so mad?
When you say this is top 100, give me the actual top 100. Don't give me top 100 from last year because that's 1 year. That's 1 year.
Going into the season, and who had the best season last year and is going into this season as that player based off of their things last year. It's called What the Fuck Did They Do? Let me review it. And this is what I felt was the best going into the season. Like, right?
Okay, fine, whatever. Chris, I accept the list stipulations.
You just don't like that Jalen Hurts made it on the top 10, which is crazy to me. But I want you to continue because there's still people that you're missing. I can give you
this
hints.
Has been a thing for fucking years. Like, I'm talking like 20 years.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, when I was a kid growing up, I just thought it was top 100 players. I didn't think it was, we're only looking at one fucking season.
It literally says top 100 players of insert year.
Whatever. I don't care.
It's like when you go to.
Do you want me to keep guessing players?
Yes.
Because literally up until you just said that, I'm thinking of. No, well, because the list is stupid.
Okay, here's the top 10.
No,
for you.
no. He's got it. He's got it.
How many more do I have left?
You have 6 left.
Yeah.
Okay. Travis Kelce's got to be up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is Tyreek Hill up there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Is there any other receivers?
1. You're forgetting about like the best receiver in the fucking game.
Justin Jefferson.
There you go. Everyone else is on defense.
And that's how many more? I'm not counting tonight.
3 more.
3.
And they all play basically the same position.
Okay, so they're all going to be pass rushers on the D line.
Help him.
He's not going to get 10. Is Chris Jones on there?
I can't believe he got 10. What the fuck?
I believe.
Well, if Aaron Donald isn't on there and we're talking pass rusher, then Nick Bosa's got to be up there.
There you go.
Is the other Bosa brother?
No, Joey's not that good.
Okay.
He won't get this one.
He's dumb.
Alex, don't say anything.
I'm not saying anything. He's just
couple tries.
If you're mad at me about it, it's Micah. Is that all 10?
Yeah, that's all 10.
Hell yeah.
It's all 10.
I won't tell you the order. I won't make you go guess the order because you're really upset with the list, but we'll just tell you straight up so you can get mad in the process. I'm going to go backwards because I think as you start to go down is the more pissed you're going to get. So
Okay.
starting at number 10, Chris Jones.
And you said Aaron Donald's 11.
Mhm.
Yep.
That feels so interchangeable, but I understand if we're focusing on 1 year, we're going to go with the Super Bowl winner. Okay.
Next is Michael Parsons at 9.
Okay.
Then Josh Allen is at 8.
Really? I would have guessed higher.
Didn't have a really great year, right? Tyreek Hill is then number 7. I thought that was extremely high.
Yeah, that feels high.
He had a crazy year though.
Yeah.
On a new team, he had a crazy year.
There's better people,
True.
I think. But Joe Burrow then is next at 6.
He's not 3?
Oh.
I told you who 3 was.
Travis Kelce is number 5. Nick Bosa is number 4. Jalen Hurts is number 3. Justin Jefferson is number 2. And you know the number 1. And if you can't, I know by your face that you can't wait to go in on this list because you totally disagree. How do you want us to approach this for you at this moment in time?
How can we support you through this rant that you're about to go through?
Just explain to me how Joe Burrow is not better last year
than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had an almost historic career if he wouldn't have gotten. It's very similar to Carson Wentz. He had a very, very, very crazy year, and he didn't play 2 games. And then he led the team to the Super Bowl. Sure, he may have lost the Super Bowl for them, but
he did. He had, besides that one thing, he had a really good game in this.
He did. He had an amazing year. And yeah, he had his mistakes in those games were huge. And that game was huge.
But that's part of being in the Super Bowl. It's like part of football, right?
For sure.
Man.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I don't get that at all. I don't get Justin Jefferson being that high. Top 5, 100%. Top 4, sure. Top 3, yeah. But number 2, no, I don't think so.
Because he's in your division.
But what have they done?
No,
if you want to make it about, Jalen Hurts took them to the Super Bowl. He had an amazing year. Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl MVP, amazing year. What has Justin Jefferson done for the Vikings? They haven't won shit. They haven't won anything, not even playoffs with him.
Yes, but I don't think it's going off of like that. I think it's going more off of like.
But that's our reasons, right? That's what he's saying is that. So what's your plea for Justin Jefferson? And I would say for Justin Jefferson, it's just his playmaking ability and who he was as like a pass catcher. Like there were so many phenomenal catches he made this year in situations like, dude, that Buffalo game, insane. That was one of the reasons,
for sure.
Right. And that's what makes him the number 2, right? Like, and here's the hard part. Depending on who you are, who you like, what teams you like, where they are, what your personal preferences, this top 10 can really go one of a million ways.
Yeah, because it's voted on by players.
Right? We don't even like Tyreek, but like if you ask a Miami Dolphin fan, you may be like in a difference, right? Or if you just ask someone that doesn't value receivers as much, he's not even on here, right? Someone who values DNs more, well, you'll get more DNs on here because TJ Watt didn't even crack any of this list, which is crazy. But like if you're really thinking about
he was hurt all year.
Right. So it's so interchangeable, and I can tell why everybody's like upset. But I mean, most of this, like, dude, like Joe Burrow right there, I can understand because Nick Bosa is the San Francisco 49ers. Like, he is the 49ers. They have a good team in general, but their
no quarterback
needs it, right?
I just look at it as, okay, I have the option to have Joe Burrow or Justin Jefferson added to the Lions roster right now. Who am I choosing? I'm choosing Joe Burrow.
But that's because of what you need. That's also what you need. You need.
But Alex, you wouldn't agree to the same thing?
I would definitely add Joe Burrow. Even when we had later years of Big Ben, I would still add Joe Burrow.
Justin, what would you say? Would you really take Justin Jefferson?
I don't know. I think both. because really, I'd like
I don't know.
Burrow.
It's like
But
I
that's the
just
hard part,
that's how
right?
my
That's like
brain thinks. So
because
it's
like
just like
it just
how.
depends on the scenario. Like Joe Burrow, dude, would be a great future for us. But like Justin Jefferson right now, like dude would be fucking crazy. That guy would go off, right? But like Travis Kelsey, I think you could even move him higher because literally what he does for the tight end position is
Yeah,
insane.
he's a blocker.
So
He's a
I
tight
will tell
end.
you this.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. They must be going off of leader ability as well, or like because 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for Hurts. Burrow had 4,400 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions.
Yeah, it's not just stats purely. It's like what you did with the team, right? It's that person that you are on the team and how you're like what we go out every week. And like Jalen Hurts was a huge part of that Eagles everything. And Joe Burrow is a huge part of the Bengals, don't get me wrong, right? But everybody already knew he was gonna do that. No one thought like the Eagles would do.
Actually, after hearing Chris's argument, I think JJ is too high.
He's definitely too high.
Just
Because
thinking
think about it. And it doesn't just apply to our teams, but unless you have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, I think if you're presented that same scenario, your team is taking Joe Burrow.
Dude,
and
it's the same thing though as everything else, right? It's all about what you think. Because also it's marketing too for the NFL. Who's the number one guy right now?
Oh, I'm sure Justin Jefferson
Right.
is just selling
Right.
crazy jerseys too, just
Right.
like Mahomes. Yeah.
Part of this, like
Mahomes, I understand though. I totally get his
this
spot
is
at number
made
one.
by players.
yeah,
By players.
Yeah.
This is what the NFL players say are like these players were this like this. So
and
like
I could see how
being a
Jalen
quarterback,
Hurts
I
is
could
up
put
there.
JC Jefferson on there, I bet.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate that.
I understand he is Minnesota Vikings fan. I think he belongs in the top 5.
Oh,
I
it
don't
has nothing
know.
to do with him being a Minnesota Viking.
Oh,
No,
I don't
no, it
know
doesn't.
if because if I mean honestly, if your name's not Kirk Cousins and you're Minnesota Viking, or maybe even um the fuck is your old tight end's name?
Oh, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, Hawkinson. Why the fuck you say Hawkinson?
I just say it different every time to piss you
Okay.
off.
Um it's I maybe I'm thinking about it not the right way. I wonder what their stipulations is because I'm talking about game changing ability. Yes, JJ has game changing ability, but if you had me out there throwing the ball to JJ, we do not have game changing ability.
Right.
You need
It's like it's the quarterback is just so pivotal.
yeah.
And I get that maybe this list is trying not to be so biased towards certain positions and just go based on talent and like you guys said, intangibles such as leadership and whatnot. But I just can't fathom why they would put Justin Jefferson ahead of Joe Burrow. And actually they put a few people ahead of Joe Burrow.
I almost
but
have an
Chris really
argument.
thinks Joe B is number 2.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
I almost have an argument for Travis Kelsey being a number 2 over JJ. Like that just
And
personally,
honestly,
like,
I would take that more than JJ.
because like Travis Kelsey provides like a dominance at a position that he's not only a receiver, he's not only a blocker, he's not only a tight end, he is a multifaceted like thing that they can use. JJ is by far the best receiver in the league, and there's no doubting that. Like I said, it should
No
be top
doubt.
5, but when you think about versatility and players in the league, I don't know. But also, sure, number 2, I could also see him at number 2 because he's a fucking crazy freak athlete that can catch the ball no matter where you throw it.
Absolutely. No doubt. I'm not trying to trash him in any way in this argument. It's just you and Joe Burrow. Hold on. I can't hear you guys right now. My headset just died. I apologize. 1 second. Sorry about that.
Wait, we can talk about this because
Oh,
you don't really
he's
care
back.
about
Okay,
title.
Chris,
He's back.
I have a proposal for you. I
Yeah.
have a proposal for you. So thinking about this, like if I was a player, okay,
Yep.
I almost want to take this in essence of my fantasy football team. Okay,
Okay.
best players, right? That's who you're talking about. If I already have Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback,
Mhm.
who's the next best fantasy football player? Travis Kelsey, Justin Jefferson, the whatever, the San Francisco 49ers defense, Cowboys defense. It's just because you have Nick Bosa up there. So it's like, cool. Nick Bosa would be involved in that defense, right?
Yeah, but see, that's where your argument kind of is flawed. Is no one is taking a defense second, no matter what. So that totally removes Micah and Nick Bosa.
Okay, just in that aspect. But in the fantasy, like, would you?
He's
I
talking about
understand what you're saying, and yes, I obviously, if I was in that stupid of a league that allowed me to get Patrick Mahomes and Justin Jefferson, yeah, I would scoop that up in a heartbeat, no doubt.
No doubt. Okay, cool. That's all we
I
have
thought
for
your
you.
question was really good, Alex. Chris is just
Thank
being
you.
really mean right now. It's okay.
Chris has had technical difficulties. Chris has had cat problems. Chris
Attitude.
is that attitude.
I've been
He's
up earlier than normal.
He's sleepy.
I cannot wait for this guy to have a fucking kid. Oh my! If you're upset right now, dude, you're in for a world of hurt.
He's gonna be on the podcast so mad, and it's gonna make it only more funny.
That's not
But
true.
on the topic of numbers, we can go to the NBA. And there's just one thing that's happening in the NBA. Did you see that Anthony Davis signed a 3-year extension, a max extension for $186 million?
Stupid.
That's crazy.
Crazy
That's so
money,
dumb.
good for him. I like nothing against him. I think that's amazing business for him. But that is a stupid deal on the Lakers' part because that man is going to be injured tomorrow.
No.
Maybe not tomorrow. Don't say that out there. We don't want that to happen. Hey, Anthony Davis, if you're listening to this, which I know you probably are, we don't want that to happen to you.
No, I'm not wishing that on him. It's just recent history has shown that man is going to be spending a lot of time on their bench. So I just question that contract.
Yeah.
You know,
one time in the athletic room. But hey, just duking out this podcast. You want to talk about the last thing?
Yeah.
See the brawl? Chris?
White Sox Guardians?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, that was great.
That was the best thing that has happened in baseball in years.
Tim Anderson he came into that fight, and I thought he was going to be like, "Oh,
big boy!
Oh, he's a big.
He came up. He was squared up. He was so ready." And Ramirez was throwing haymakers, bro.
That's the thing. That's the thing about fighting. You have a puncher's chance. You always have a chance when you're fighting.
It just takes one hit.
Yeah.
And
I've watched that. I've watched that so many times. When I first saw it, I didn't think he got a really like solid like contact, but then I like rewatched it. He just got right here, and he just went down,
head down, everything. He literally was like just.
And then wasn't Ramirez in the fight with, what's that guy's name from the Blue Jays? The last big fight,
Jose Bautista. I think it was them. Yeah,
it was Ramirez and this guy, and he.
And guess what? Both times he was kind of the
winner. Well, this time he wasn't kind of the winner. He was definitely the winner. Who?
Oh, well, I mean, like, I'm saying he's like to put this in pro wrestling terms, he was the baby face in both.
Oh, yeah.
And Tim, and he continues to be so because he came out and said that he tried to apologize and reach out to Tim Anderson, and Tim Anderson hasn't gotten back to him. So it's like, oh, not looking good for you, buddy.
Dude, Tim Anderson, though, was like the reason he also got more suspended is he came out after the fact. He literally brought him to the dot, and he came back out. Like, he was being dramatic. That was so dramatic fashion.
And now, do you see the suspensions?
Yeah.
No.
Tim Anderson got like double what Ramirez got because he initiated.
He started it. Yeah.
He just
it's like Mama always said, never throw the first punch, but if they're gonna do something, finish it. And you're like, all right, cool, I guess.
You're gonna do this, right?
Yeah, damn good for him.
I don't know if you guys actually care, but Jake Paul fought Nate Diaz.
I don't give a
The
fuck.
most comedic thing I've ever seen. Nate Diaz did it as like a joke, bro. He had to be the whole time. He was just doing dumb
stupid
shit, bro. Dumb shit. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for Paul to actually fight someone his own size.
No, he did fight someone his own size and lost.
Yeah,
Tommy Fury.
exactly.
He fought somebody his own
And
his last
someone
fight.
who has probably the same amount of experience in Tyson Fury.
More. Or no, Paul.
You think Paul has more?
No. What the fuck is his name? It's not Tyson Fury. That's his.
Fury.
That's his brother.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Tommy Fury. Yeah,
Tommy.
right.
Thank you. I was like, no, Tyson Fury, the big ass motherfucker.
Yeah, you're right.
Tommy Fury, he probably has a little bit more, but he has boxing experience. He's been boxing his whole fucking life. Like they're boxers as a family.
So I would say he probably has more training, but Jake Paul had more experience in front of the limelight boxing.
Oh yeah,
the
big fights. Boxing. Yeah, but like being in the ring, oh my god, Tommy Fury by far had, and you could tell like Tommy Fury's a boxer. Sure, he's not like the best boxer in the world, but he's a boxer, and you can tell that like he fucked him up.
Yeah, and so he's going to continue fighting these smaller guys. Yeah. What's
but he's going to continue fighting smaller guys, getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars
business,
to do
but
it.
Any of these people who pay to see it are crazy. Did you pay to see it, Justin? Please tell me you just saw it at a bar.
No, I didn't even go watch it. I was just watching highlights, bro.
Oh, okay.
I don't pay for it, dude. I love watching UFC, and I'm going to pay for UFC.
Yeah, I love watching just ESPN Plus.
See, UFC, I will actually pay to watch.
Do you have Hulu? It's on Hulu for free. Every thing, it's on ESPN Plus. Yeah, no pay-per-views.
Is that through Hulu TV though?
No, it's through Hulu. Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus are all like one package, and all UFC fights are streamed on ESPN Plus. So if you ever want to watch a UFC fight, it's on Hulu because it's like the live version of it.
I think I need to cancel my Hulu and then sign up through the package of getting ESPN Plus. Because isn't it basically the same price?
While you're doing that,
same price.
Johnny Manziel documentary, so we
on Netflix
next week. And
I watched quarterback this morning at 6 a.m. when I got to work. And
hell yeah,
it was okay.
You did your homework that early, last minute.
You're
making fun of us, but you did it today at 6 a.m.
I did it today.
And if you want to follow a wild ride, we're gonna have a video every day for the next 2 months, and maybe even more than that. So come hang out, come follow us
down
at the Three Amigos Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'll actually say all those now because we're posting on them. We're actually doing stuff. We're doing things. Look at us. Look at us, guys. Look at us. But yeah, other than that, anything else, boys?
Well, you know what?
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Take it away, big guy.
For sure. I think congratulations from us at the podcast for you, Big Daddy. We haven't got a chance to even say anything.
I wasn't sure if we were going to on the.
Sure.
Oh, we're already vocal about it. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think it's cool as fuck to just say, "Hey, man, congratulations on being a dad."
That's true.
Thank you.
We're pretty vocal about it. Yes, congratulations, Alex. Super excited for you guys. Super cute baby.
Very cute baby.
How's it been going?
Oh, it's horrible, but I love it. I'm so fucking tired. My bedtime is like 11 because it's when he's sleeping right now. Actually, but my bedtime is like 11, and then Rosie wakes up in the middle of the night and takes the rest of it, and then I wake up to put him down, and then I wake up at like 5:30 to take the rest, to take the early morning shift. It's real hard. It's tiring. I'm tired.
I'm getting nervous about that.
It's just like, yeah, it's just like,
oh man,
I'm gonna tell you right now, Christopher. Just tell your body every day until the baby comes that it has to wake up to Sydney's crying.
To Sydney's crying.
To Sydney's just like voice, because I don't wake up to the baby. I do not wake up to the baby. But if Rosie, no, I don't wake up to Rose. And then it gets to a point where she needs me and she yells at me, and I wake up and go, "Why are you yelling at me? What the fuck did I do?" Because I'm fucking sleeping. And then, but it's her going, "I've called your name 10 times and I really need help, but you've been," or what I do is she'll be like, "Alex, I need you to do this." And I'll go, "Okay." And then I'll fall back asleep. So
man.
just get used to like, because you're not useful. The reason that I like to do this too, I'm not useful in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, he wants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not eating. I don't got boobies.
Yeah, but you
Um,
can bottle,
yeah, but we do breastfeed.
you can pump.
I understand we pump, but we try to only have bottle once a day so that he really stays with the breastfeeding and doesn't try to only take from the bottle. So
Yeah.
we're doing bottle once a day though to make it a habit. So I feed him once a day. It could be in the middle of the night, but we've also established I'm fucking useless in the middle of the night. Even if I was the person to be on duty with the baby, I wouldn't wake up. I He would just be fucking pissing on himself, and I'd be like, "All right, dude."
See, I think nights will be me. So,
You
'cause
say that now. I said the same exact shit. I said, "Oh, dude, nights easy. I got the nights," and I am the early morning person.
But I think Chris is a light sleeper, if I'm not wrong, right?
yes and no. It depends on the night. Some nights I'm like super light sleeper. Other nights, like I slept through a major thunderstorm the other day. It just kind of depends. I think
I've
once the baby's
become
here, I'll be a super light sleeper because I'll
I
be on
I'm a,
edge.
I'm a light sleeper. The thing is, in our brain, um, I'm so tired that I think I just sleep right through it. Like I'm not wired. Like my body doesn't produce milk when it hears a baby cry.
I'm glad.
It's
Oh,
kind of fucking weird. But like Rosie's like in physical pain because like her milk builds up so much because like she can hear him cry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fucking wild.
Did we already sign off on the pod?
No, we're still fucking talking about it, dude.
that's the best part about
Yeah,
it,
we're
man.
still talking. This is
I
all
love
on
it.
live and on air. Rosie doesn't care. She's the love of my life. I was looking over, dude, baby sleeping on Rosie the whole time.
Oh, that's
Hella
cute.
cute. Just like damn, I was like, damn, my whole world's over there, dude. Kind of crazy. Um,
Why don't we let you get back to your whole world and go and
he's fucking,
snuggle up with your family?
bro. He's hella asleep. He's got a blanket on and
I
everything.
know.
And you're not
Go.
supposed to have a blanket on a
We're just
baby
trying
with
to
the
finish the
blanket.
podcast, Alex.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to bed.
Oh, someone get Irby.
All this talk about sleep is just it's calling my name.
And I'm getting hungry, and my
8:40.
lady now entered the room, so I.
Yeah. Well,
And it's getting
yes,
dark, as you can
follow
tell.
us. Yeah, it got dark as fuck over there. Please
Dark.
follow us all over for the next 2 months. We'll have the best content that you could ever see on any other channel. I promise you, we're doing so good that your mom would be proud of us. I think you should give us a follow. Other than that, boys, anything last thing to say besides bye?
Deuces.
Peace, guys.